All right, what's up? Welcome back to Jordan's Corner. It's episode 15, 16, something like that. Today we're going to talk about protein. I'm just going to get into just a metric ton of questions about, how do you figure out optimal protein intake for your size, what are the determining factors that go into it. And so I thought we'd talk about it. Quick update on me, in case you care. About 1.5 weeks out from the Arnold right now. Weight's doing fine. About 4 pounds up from where I need to be, so a little water manipulation will be fine. Maybe I should do a weight cutting podcast later on. But anyway, and the lifts are good. I'm going to go out and get my elite total. It's going to be big. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. My athletes had two people compete this past weekend in professional supercross. They did really well. Made the night show. Which is a big step in the right direction for them. And then I got Jillian this weekend. She's going to be down at the Raw Unity meet in Tampa, and she's going to crush it. She's going to weigh in somewhere in the 140s, I'm going to guess, 146, something like that, 146, 147, and she'll squat 340, something like that, and deadlift. I wouldn't be surprised to see her go 475 to 500 on a third attempt if she's having a good meet. So. And I think she'll bench 270, 275. So, yeah, it should be big. Anyway, so let's talk about protein. So, there's been all sorts of tomfoolery out there with people in their regards to how much protein you need. A lot of people say you need 300 grams a day, no matter how big or small you are or how old you are. Other people say it's 2 grams per pound body weight. Other people say, well, you only need 0.7 grams per kilogram, which is much less, to be in a positive nitrogen balance. And to that, I'm just going to say I'm not going to address other people's protocols. I'm just going to tell you how I think about it and the rationale why. Okay, so first of all, when somebody says positive nitrogen balance, immediately you can just kind of decide that they're not actually talking about what you're talking about. You're talking about what are the ways to optimize muscle growth, okay? Even if you're on a diet where you're trying to lose some body weight, you still want to optimize muscle growth. Why? Because you don't want to lose muscle, okay? The hard part about dieting for a show, if you're into like a physique sport or a meet or something, isn't necessarily losing the weight. It's not losing muscle, okay? That's the hard part. The easy part is getting big, okay? The hard part is dieting down and keeping all that muscle, okay? And that's why a lot of people end up turning to anabolic substances in the strength sports for maybe some different reasons in professional sports, but definitely in bodybuilding, powerlifting, and Olympic lifting, stuff like that. So as far as protein is concerned, positive nitrogen balance does not matter because that is a systemic or body-wide measure of protein turnover. Okay, what you actually need to know is what's happening at the muscle level. So, is the net movement of protein going in to the muscle, or is it coming out? That is, are we building more muscle than what's coming out? And again, you can't figure this out on your own. You would need to go to a lab and do some tracer studies. But I'm just trying to tell you that the nitrogen balance studies, you can be in a positive nitrogen balance by taking in 70 grams of protein a day. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. So, all right, we're past that. On the other hand, you've got people that say you need to have 2 grams of protein per pound body weight. You need to take 400 grams of protein a day. Or my buddy was the leanest guy I know, and he ate, 500 grams of protein a day. There's no benefit, okay, as far as increasing muscle growth above right around that 1.3 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. Okay, that doesn't mean it's harmful. It's certainly not. High protein intake. It's not been shown to mess with your kidneys, mess with your liver. I don't know how that got out there. It doesn't, or anything else, unless you have like an issue, an overt pathology in an organ already. Okay, and that it's just, we can't necessarily pin down that it's the protein intake. It's just if you have like a kidney problem, you should probably be on a lower protein diet, at least until the kidney function returns to normal. That's just basic medical stuff. So Another thing, the people who are on the lower end of the recommendations say against these higher protein recommendations, well, you can't absorb, more than 30 or 40 grams of protein at a time, which is ridiculous, complete bullshit. You will absorb literally between 99 and 100% of the protein that you take in. It doesn't matter if it's a pound of meat, it doesn't matter if it's half a pound, it doesn't matter if it's 200 grams of whey protein isolate. Like, you're going to absorb it. The thing is, how much will optimally stimulate muscle growth? That is, anything above this sort of like optimal stimulation of muscle growth is extra. Does that make sense? So, some studies like Lane Norton's done, and he's referenced to a lot. It kind of depends on the prevalence of amino acids, specifically leucine, and some other essential amino acids definitely play a role for sure. So it ends up being about a little, like between 30 to 50 grams, 30 to 45 grams of protein per serving, tends, depending on where you're getting it from, optimizes protein synthesis. Anything above that, yeah, you're still going to absorb it. It's just not going to be used for muscle synthesis, repair, remodeling. Okay, it's going to be converted to glucose, and it could be either used as energy or stored as fat. That's what's going to happen. So the thing is, you would prefer to optimally stimulate protein synthesis and then not go above that. So I tend to recommend, let's have 40 to 55, maybe 60 on the high end grams of protein per serving, spread out through the day, maybe 4 to 5 meals. That would be optimal. And how I'm figuring the protein total, it's basically like, I just play it safe at 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, right in that range, that 1.25, 1 to 1.5, that sort of thing. And so it's about maybe 35 to 40% of someone's diet, the calories they're getting, is going to be from protein. And it kind of shifts. The younger someone is, the better they respond in general to protein. So I don't have to go a crazy high amount with it. They'll be more sensitive to like 200 grams of protein or 225 grams of protein. Whereas someone who's a little older, I'm gonna need to kind of goose the system with a little more protein just due to age-related effects and being sensitive to protein. So that same person, the same body weight, that at 18, I recommended 225 grams of protein. If they're 50, I'm gonna say maybe 275. And that's kind of where the branched chain amino acids really come in. I think branched chain amino acids are definitely really important for supplement if you're going to go down that road, especially if you're an older athlete, older training person. So that's kind of my recommendations on protein, right in that 1.25 to 1.5 range. And then if you're towards the older end of the scale, definitely creep up that way. You don't need 300 grams of protein per day unless you're a 270 pound, 250 pound beast of a person. And that's it. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys have any other questions you want me to address via video podcast, let me know, and catch you guys next time. All right, see ya.